remember you by, what I carry with me as I remain here on earth, what I bestow to my daughter, and what Trevor endures on a daily basis. Bless his heart for taking up with an Evans. Today we gather to thank all of you for being in my dad's life, to thank you for appreciating his deprecating humor. Uncle Terry, this word deprecating, it means negative. His wry sense of the world, his unmitigated sarcasm, and his few little idiosyncrasies. For those younger children here, you know what I mean. Your grandpa was a smartass, and he loved me for saying it. My daughter learned the Tim, quintessential Tim, from me. I laugh and tell her that such classic or quintessential Tim when I think of him laughing at a joke that he told or saying something with a deadpan face. Some stinging comment that usually took him half a second to blurt out, but took the rest of us 2 or 3 minutes to comprehend. Sometimes his sharp comments would be so shocking they would leave you gasping for air. Aside from thanking you all for coming out to honor my father's contribution to the community here, for giving him the love in your hearts, for being patient with him when you could not be patient with others, I wanted to thank him. Dad, I wanted to thank you for so many things you gave us, and I want to wish you a safe journey and give your friends and family more fond visuals of you as you travel toward light, peace, and rest, and as we remember your good deeds. I am just giving a mere 2 or 3 sacred visuals so that you have texture that we can all take with us, hold in our hearts through the remainder of our journeys here on earth without Tim, that make us better people for having known him. Dad, thank you for the love of outdoors, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Crab, the Beatles, Don McLean, horses, dogs, farming, camping, the law, vocabulary, colored and academic, and the ability to live in chaos. I mean chaos in the kindest way. I really do. Dad taught us it was okay. It is okay if everything is not neat, not clean, and not perfect. Early on he'd say, thriving in chaos can be character building, little Cassandra. Dad did things in bulk, kind of larger than life, and he never apologized for this. Some of you, many I'm guessing, Catholics or recovering Catholics, call that gluttony. Taking more of your fair share, I think it's one of those sin thingies, though I never quite knew if all those trips to Mass on Sunday cured him of it, or he just got a pass. I think the latter. Dad's gluttony was endearing and chaotic, and we all built character and had some good laughs because of it. In many people's homes, next to their dining room tables, maybe they have nice paintings of landscapes or possibly family portraits, relatives' pictures hanging on the wall, smile down on the family as they share a meal after a long day. In several of our homes growing up, I looked up from my plate to see the large wooden plaque with a cartoon character with untamed hair holding his fist up in the air, screaming the words, "Sue the bastards." What does that mean? Friends would ask when I was younger. Oh, I don't know. I think it just means my dad just loves his job. So many of these moments made us cringe as his kids, but they are also the things that made me laugh when I sit down to write about him now. How about the way he danced, like a gorilla stamping on ants? Big, thick legs stomping side to side with his fist clenched. Any of you who have seen him dance know what I mean. The way he drove a tractor, no protective glasses, no sunscreen, no hat, no respirator to guard against all the chemicals he was spraying, and sometimes, well, many times, no clothing other than rubber orchard boots. The more elements, the better. And the quality of the mowing, not perfect, not neat, not clean, but he adored doing it. Cheese, larger than life. I never knew cheese came in thin slices because of my father. He just got these huge blocks of cheddar cheese grilled really hard, burnt hamburgers by the pool, and slapped these 2-inch thick slices on them. I never knew until I went away to college. Dad, they do sell cheese by the slice and not American. I mean, really cheddar and Monterey Jack, not 2 inches thick. Then it melts nicely with a burger and tastes so good. I still smile when I see any barbecue with thinly or regularly sliced cheese, and I think Dad did it his way. The thicker, the better. The burger was burnt and the cheese on top was cold. Never, ever, ever melted, but just maybe at the corners. I'm telling you that cheese was cold in the middle. By the time he was done there was often more cheese than hamburger. When I had friends come over to swim all day in the pool, he would come out and ask, anyone want a burger? I would cringe as my friends would get excited. Yeah, yeah. I would warn quietly, trying not to hurt his feelings. No, they're really not that good. Try the hot dog, seriously. I never knew why, but geez, Dad, Burger King was just magical compared to your burgers. I also learned later, much later, some people own sharp, good quality knives. Not us. Not in my area, anyway. Because of you, Dad, I still marvel at what cutting cheese or tomato is like with good quality knives. These are tiny, quiet moments every day when I think of the lessons he gave, directly and indirectly, funny and serious. Skiing. Oh, how I dreaded skiing with that man. Larger than life, gluttony, moguls. Nah, black diamond triple with a big red line all around. Do not attempt if you are a beginner. Stay away. Not only would he take us skiing as often as he could, probably why we couldn't ever afford decent knives, he would take us night skiing in freezing wind, oftentimes blizzards when no one else would want to be out. Because, as he said, you can get in more runs, and he would say, if you aren't falling down, you aren't skiing hard enough. Those of you who only played Kiwanis softball with him, just think of that same sort of chaotic, larger-than-life softball behavior on the ski moguls. It was a spectacle. I usually took one lift ride up the mountain and with him, and then ran to the lodge. Boda bag around his neck, frozen snow in his mustache. Dad would rip right down, tumbling ass over tea kettle after about the first 3 moguls, and I would wince washing. Turn to find my way, a safer way, and then go hide in the lodge, drinking hot chocolate and taking my boots off. I'd come out about a half hour before he knew he wanted to go, some prearranged time when we were supposed to start heading off the mountain, and wait and wait and wait some more. Then what to my wondering eyes appear? One snow-frozen mustache and a tumbling skier knocking people over. Oh dear. So embarrassing. Oh gosh, Dad. Snow frozen in his hair, in his mustache, and huge sideburns. It was the 70s and 80s when I learned to ski, so we had those thick sideburns, crashing through lift lines with people screaming as they fell over like dominoes. When he came to and shook himself off, took a sip from the Boda bag, he was so excited and always had a huge grin on his face. Dogs. A trip to the pound to possibly adopt one. We'll take all 3, he said one day. Talk about the chaos and not neat and not clean, repercussions of that. But that's how he did it. Why save 1 life when you can save 3? Why get married once when, well, you know, one wife's good, 5's better. Our lives were filled with laughter, shock, and a lot of what is he doing now perplexed questions. I was a sheriff's cadet. Why? Because everyone should know what it's like to work in a jail, little Cassandra. Who says that to their 15-year-old daughter? Tim Evans, that's who. The cool thing about being a sheriff's cadet in Sutter County, other than the joy of wearing a thick, itchy green wool uniform on a 150-degree day in July, of course, is that you get to know a lot about in the jail, what it's like to be on patrol, to do dispatch, and oh, guess what it's like to be a bailiff in your dad's courtroom, if your dad is Tim Evans. Dad, I've been to court with you a lot. I don't really need the bailiff experience, too. Aw, come on, it'll be fun. So some of you know one of the turning points of Dad's first one for municipal court judge back in the 70s was when he vowed that if elected, he'd offer night court once per month. That was really a great idea. It helped working people have some more access to the system, which in all honesty, those of you who knew him know he was seriously attempting to achieve. And I think that maybe a few jokes he told on the campaign trail got him the elected. In any case, if you ever had the chance to see him on the bench, it was rather impressive. He was in his element. I was always amazed how he could seemingly be ignoring the attorney's arguments, thumbing through the logos, writing notes on the computer, talking to the stenographer, and messaging the bailiffs all at the exact same time. Yet someone would say something illogical, thinking he wasn't listening, and without looking up, with a cutting tone, he would call him out on it. Before I came a cadet, I visited him in the courtroom a lot. Our caretaker, Beverly Palmer might bring us to him so that we can leave directly from there and go night skiing. What? And my brothers, Michael and James, would watch, Dad mesmerized. I asked one day, what are those little notes you pass to the guy in the uniform? The bailiff, he's called. Dad said, sometimes I ask him to bring me coffee, but most of the time I'm telling him to call Bob Singh and ask him where I'm meeting him for lunch. The one day I visited a cadet/junior bailiff for a Thursday night on night court session. The defense attorney asked Dad for a continuation for his client. Yes, of course, Dad said sternly, taking his eyes off his other task and staring directly into his advisor's eyes. That's when you knew you were in for it. You're stalling. The attorney said, no, my client isn't available then. Nor this day. Really, he isn't available until next month, and toward the very end of the month. Without even a hint of exasperation, Dad offered day after day, looking at that little calendar up on the wall, still thumbing through his law book with one hand reviewing the next set of files on his desk, and with the other. Finally he paused, and so many of you know his dramatic pauses, proclaimed, okay, Saturday, April 15th, 9 a.m. it is. The buzz in the courtroom ceased. All motion stopped. I'm sorry, Your Honor, what did you say? I said Saturday, this Saturday at 9 a.m. Your client free then? You said he works Monday through Friday, every day for the next 6 weeks. Can he take a day off? For that reason, we'll all be here Saturday at 9 a.m. I looked at the court reporter. I looked at the real bailiff, not me. Looked at the attorneys, looked at their clients. I looked at Dad. He was waiting expressionless for the counsel's next utterance. Eyes bulged, mouths were gaping. The attorney stammered, you know, Your Honor, come to think of it, we could find another day than Saturday. Too late. See you all this Saturday, bright and early, Dad. When court was adjourned, all rise, the command was given. He rose first, turned around in his robe, and to head toward the chamber's door. And I swear I could see a little gleam of a smile turn up his lips as he faced away from the courtroom, and I held the door open for him, me, the bailiff in training. No one uttered another word as Dad disappeared into chambers. In the car on the way home, I dared to ask, Dad, are you really going to make them come in on Saturday? Are you serious? Sure, why not? But everyone looked pissed. Yeah, that'll teach the attorney to screw around in my court. I could go on and on, but I hope you will all read my memoir when it's published. I am a California native, but now also a New Yorker. So please appreciate me for getting that plug in for my book. That's what New Yorkers do. I've learned that my father's brashness goes a long way in New York. The cold, thick cheese on a burnt burger, well, that's not so well appreciated, but his wit, sarcasm, and in-your-face brashness, it deserves me well. Also, please let me know if you have great stories to share, which might need to be included in the book. My daughter has my contact information, and I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, I hope we all take with us the larger-than-life, voracious spirit and experiences we can from my father. Sometimes you gotta live large, let the Mongols be damned, and let the cheese be too much and too cold, and live the Sudhadaster's attitude. Dad, your brashness and wit will be missed. All rise. All rise. I will miss you, Your Honor, Tim, Dad, Grandpa. Have a safe but fun-filled journey, and please don't knock anyone over on your way there.